It's North Carolina time. Luke May is with us, and we also have Garrison Brooks. And again, please specifically direct your question to one or the other by their name. And if you'd like both to answer your questions that you ask, just start with one and say you'd like to hear from both. And I'll make it easier for everybody in our room, including our technical crew. Go ahead.
Elton Alexander with the Plain Dealer. Luke, just talk about the games becoming more and more inside as you go further into the tournament. And also, Noah was here earlier and said you guys have a little bit of history that maybe you can share a little background with that as well.
Yeah, we're going to try to play the same way we've played all year, but I mean, it starts inside first, and myself and Garrison need to do our job on the glass and also making the shots inside that we can make. And I think the biggest thing for us is just continue to play our game and play how Coach wants us to play, and that's just doing our jobs and making it easier on the guards. And then with Noah, we played against each other at a lot of camps, and he played on a similar AAU circuit as I did, so we've played against each other a good amount, and he's always been a good friend, and I've enjoyed playing against him, and I'm going to enjoy playing against him tomorrow.
Yeah, for Garrison, Bill Rabinowitz from the Columbus Dispatch. For Garrison, but also Luke, you guys are a #1 seed. You're considered one of the favorites in the tournament, but most of the year nationally you've been overshadowed by Duke and Zion and all that stuff. How did you think that has affected you? Has it bothered you? Has it helped you guys in a way?
It's great. I mean, I feel like it's helped us in a little bit. It give us a little bit of motivation. It's just, I mean, it's fine that people overlook us and like the national scene is fine, but we just continue to work and get better every day.
Yeah, I'd second that. I think the biggest thing for us is focusing on ourselves and making sure that we're doing what we can on the court to put us in the right position to where we are now and get a #1 seed. And at the end of the day, everybody's going to play and everybody's going to have their opinions on games and on players. And I think we're just trying to do our best to get the right image in people's minds.
And Luke, that just would logically make sense, would it not, that you got to have a certain pride in the ACC to have the 3 #1 seeds? I mean, it's good for everybody.
Yes, sir. I think it's the best basketball conference, and I would take that up with anybody.
What kind of a adjustment do you see, Garrison, when you do play a team that obviously you're not familiar with? Is it going to be advantageous that you've played Syracuse a couple of times during the course of the year and know that Mike Hopkins has taken a lot of those basketball practices out to Washington?
I mean, I think it helps. It benefits us. I mean, we've seen it before. I don't think we've seen pretty much everything we need to see this season. I think we just do what we normally do, like just play our game.
Is there always the adjustment of seeing a team on tape that you're not familiar with, thinking you got it, and then you went through it a little bit yesterday in the first half, and then you see them in person, and the reality hits?
Yeah, I mean it's different. Film doesn't do some people a justice.
Anybody else?
Matt Calkins with the Seattle Times. Luke, it's been established you have a history with Noah a little bit. He was an all-conference player 2 years ago and didn't make it this year because I think everyone figured out they have to double him or they're going to be in trouble. Just as a one-on-one matchup, what's it like dealing with him in the post?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player. He's always been able to use his body really well, be able to finish over people. And for somebody who plays the 5 spot at right around 6'8", some people list him as 6'9", but I feel like he's pretty similar size to me, maybe a little taller. And I think he does a good job of finding his areas and finding his angles, and he's a great scorer in the post. And we're just going to do our best to slow him down and make sure that we have a body in front of him in the basket every single play. But, I mean, everybody at this stage is going to be really good. And, I mean, in respect to their leagues, everybody has a lot of accolades, and we're just trying to win a team game, and that's what we're going to try to do tomorrow.
Garrison, is there a comfort level with the officiating during the regular season? Because you generally get 3 guys that you know, and then you come into the tournament, and you're really not sure of these 3 guys, maybe one, and how they're going to call a particular game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure every referee is different. So I mean, you have to really adjust to the style that they're going to blow the whistle for pretty much every call.
Do you know 5 minutes in what it's going to be like, or does it change?
You could tell. You could pretty much tell from the jump. You could tell by the first foul, like tell basically about how the first rebound. Basically, that's how I feel.
Go ahead.
For both of you, what is the most annoying aspect of playing against the Syracuse zone?
I'll go first. I think the biggest thing is how active the top two defenders are. I think one of their players is leading the country in steals and does a great job. I think it's Thibault does a great job of getting the passing lanes, and we got to make sure that we make good fakes and get it into the middle of the zone and try to do our best to attack. And I think playing against Syracuse has helped us, and it will help us moving forward. But then again, every team's different, and every team has their strengths, and we just got to try to find our strengths against a good team like Washington.
I'll agree with Luke by just saying like the top two guys, like they're really active. I mean, it makes it tough on like the whole team.
Luke, is there additional pressure on you guys as a team because you've got Carolina on your jersey?
I think it's definitely playing against any team. They're going to bring their best shot, especially in the NCAA tournament. And I think going off of what happened last year, I think we're going to come out with a little bit extra motivation and making sure that we play our best basketball. I mean, we struggled a little bit the first half yesterday, and we can't have that letdown tomorrow. And we just got to do our best to make sure we come out the right way and got to punch them in the mouth early.
Was the adjustment at halftime yesterday more technical or emotional?
I think it'd be more emotional. Coach got on us about playing a little bit harder, playing with more passion. And he felt like we missed some shots that we usually make, and they made some shots. And I think just playing harder and playing with more aggression would have benefit us in the second half. And we made some more shots, and kind of affected them, which was big for us.
I'm only asking this because the Washington players said that their coach was crazy. Is there any part of Coach Williams that you find to be crazy?
I think I could probably speak on it a little bit more than Garrison, just because I've been around 4 years and I've had a lot of experiences with different attitude changes, different mood swings, and I think the biggest thing for us is that Coach gets on us, and Coach really wants to push us in different ways, whether it be yelling or kind of aggression. But I think he knows it, he knows that we know that he cares about us, and he wants us to realize how much he wants us to succeed. And that's the biggest thing that Coach tries to imply every single day. And no matter how hard he's on you or how mad he gets, you understand that because he shows you every single day, and that's been big for my growth and development.
I think that's a good answer in protecting your playing time. I think you're going to be fine tomorrow. Thanks to all your good questions and tremendous answers. Thank you, guys. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Coach Williams joins us momentarily.
2:30, 3 o'clock.
That's exactly when I shut it down.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be doing that.
Too old.
Coach Williams joins us, and we are ready for your questions.
Yep.
Hey, Roy. Brett Friedlander, North State Journal.
Okay.
You guys have had some really good success over the years against Syracuse in that zone, and Mike's going to play pretty much the same kind of defense. What is it that has made you guys so successful at attacking that?
Well, I'll give you a better answer after the game tomorrow night if we're successful against Mike's. It's a little different, but I mean, the basis is the same thing. But they're long, athletic, quick to the ball. They're aggressive. They probably double team in the corner, maybe more than Jimmy's teams have done the last couple of years. But for us, we try to get the shot that we want, not just the shot that they want us to take. And so for us, it's got to be a balance. We want to get the ball inside and attack the basket area and shoot open threes, but not just be content just to pass the ball around the perimeter and do what they want us to do. But you know, good news is that we have played Syracuse, because it would be hard to get ready for this type of defense with just half a practice, which is what we're going to have today. And but at the same time, some other teams have played us zone, and guys played some zone against us yesterday, and we didn't handle it very well in the first half particularly. But it is, with their length, they take away your open shots, because they can, football terminology, they can close on you, like they talk about defensive backs. You think you're open and they can close. I can go all the way back to 2003, the national championship game. On my last game at Kansas, we have what we think is a wide open three to tie the game, and Akeem Warwick came out of nowhere and blocked the shot. So you have to understand that they have athleticism and can really cover ground, and they want to get there. They want to bother your shot, but we got to try to get the shot we want.
I can remember back to your Kansas team in '93, and when you talk about length, it seems like every team now has 7 or 8 of those guys you describe with length. And when you go back to earlier in your head coaching career, if a team had one, it was a story, wasn't it?
Yeah, but these guys, I mean, they're, whether it's 6'7" up to 6'11", you know, they do have the length and the athleticism to cover a lot of ground. Yes.
Bill Rabinowitz from the Columbus Dispatch. I apologize, you even asked this many times this year, but you're a #1 seed. Nobody's overlooking you, but you've been overshadowed to some degree by Duke and Zion Williamson, all that stuff. How do you think that has affected, either negatively or positively, you guys this year?
Well, me, it hasn't affected me at all. I'm serious, not one iota. I could, you know, it just doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me, doesn't make me happy or anything. I just don't think about it. But I think Zion, the attention that he's gotten, he's deserved. He's stood up to all the accolades that he got before. And, I mean, we tried to recruit him as hard as I've ever recruited anybody. And I thought he was a unique young man. There wasn't anybody like him. I mean, I've been married for 46 years. My wife's been to a lot of high school games with me over the years. And I took her to the game when we saw Zion one night. And we left, and we're in the car, and she didn't say anything. I said, well, what do you think? She said, don't think I've ever seen anything like that. And I mean, that's pretty perceptive. And, you know, you watch the games, and that's what you say now. Man, I haven't seen anything like that. So I think he's that blend of power and explosiveness, athleticism, and competitiveness that I haven't seen maybe ever. But so that part hadn't bothered me. I mean, he deserves what he gets. And when we win, we get good publicity. If somebody else beats us, we don't. And got to get ready for the next game. But I really haven't cared about it.
Roy, Art Teal, Sports Press Northwest. It's been a while since you encountered Washington in the finals, and lots of things have changed. But I wondered what you remembered about that 2011 game in Charlotte, when I guess you woke up sick that morning and got a little sicker as the game was going on.
Yeah, I remember they were very, very good. We were lucky to win the game. We have a 3-point lead, and John Henson, standing under the basket, jumped up and sort of caught the ball. It was definitely going to be short, so it should not have been called goaltended. But I about had a heart attack because we got a 3-point lead. I said, John, why would you do that? He said, well, Coach, he was inside. It was just going to be 2. You know, and I said, how do you know that? You know, that kind of thing. So that's what I remember the most about it at the end of the game. We got a great deflection. They had the ball out of bounds. I think with just for us a 1 or 2 point lead, and John was able to get his hand on the ball in front of the ball and deflect it. And we came up with it and scored again on the other end. But Lorenzo was coaching, I believe, at that time. Isaiah, I think, was there. They had some good players, and I remember getting to the locker room thinking that we just beat a very, very, very good team, and we were lucky to win.
Roy, Matt Calkins with the Seattle Times. I'm not sure how well you know Mike Hopkins, so there might not be a lot there, but I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
He's a different guy. Yesterday he was trying to decide which candy he wanted on the scores table and played eeny, meeny, miny, mo. He tackles players in the middle of practice, starts doing push-ups, all this kind of stuff. I'm just wondering if there's anything that you've come across where you go, that's a different guy. He's not like the other coaches.
What the crap do you think people say about me? I spit in rivers. Jesus Christ. Michael and I are twins. You know, that's what the hell it is. I've never gone any, mini, miny, mo with the candy on the side of the table, but I've got 2 different kinds in my pocket in the locker room. You know. I really think he's really a good guy, really a good coach. I'm old enough to remember when he played. I think he was so loyal to Jimmy and great for Jimmy Boeheim for a long time, and Jimmy was loyal to him. The teams they had at Syracuse, they beat one of my teams in the 2003 national championship game. So I've known Mike for a long time. 2 or 3 years ago, whenever it was, that Jimmy set out those 9 games, and Mike was in charge of the team, and it didn't go as well. I don't know what it was. It was 4-5, 5-4, 3-6, 6-3, whatever it was, but it wasn't very pleasant. And the first game that they played when Jimmy came back was against us at their place. And I remember grabbing Michael before the game and said, "Hey, I know that hadn't been the most pleasant experience, but you did a great job. It's a hard job. It's unusual circumstances. Just put it behind you, and one of these days it'll be a very small blip on what you're doing." And I don't know if he remembers that, but it was very comfortable for me to say that to him, and I think he's one of the good guys. Now, not many. In the old days, I would do more crazy stuff, but I've stepped down and done push-ups on the floor, and so what you're describing is unique. That sounds normal to me, so that's all I got.
Hey, Coach. Joe
Yes.
Mazer, ABC 11 in Raleigh. You know, we got to find some storylines here, so we got to nitpick a little bit.
Okay.
3-3 in the second round the last 6 years. Anything to that? Has it just been matchups that have been stumbling blocks, or what do you read into it?
Yeah, 99% of the coaches in the world would take that. I mean, seriously, 3-3 in the second round. Hell, a lot of guys are sitting home getting ready for their golf game. Probably, let's see, Texas A&M last year was really a bad matchup for us. The year before that, we were okay. You know, we were 6-0. There wasn't anybody else 6-0. So I'll take 3-3 all the time if you'll make 2 of those 3 years go play for the national championship game. So that'd be the one I'd have the best answer for you. Frankly, my dear.
Any other questions for Coach?
Didn't mean to shut the crowd up. I was being nice.
Jacob Myers with the Columbus Dispatch. Sterling Manley, talked to him yesterday, and have you had it in your career where a situation like that, where a player has been playing enough and then gets hurt and you have to sit him down because the rotation that you have has been so good? Just how has he kind of been receptive to that?
You know, I don't know, but I've been a head coach for 31 years, so I'm sure I've had some things like it. But it depends. Before he got hurt, he was playing 11 or 12 minutes, but Garrison was in front of him. And Sterling was doing some things that were good for us, or he wouldn't have been playing 11 or 12 minutes a game. But he got hurt for a long time, okay? And now coming back, my job, be honest, if we don't win, I get fired. So my job is to win. And the group that we have got a pretty good rotation set. We won 15 out of 16 or 16 out of 18, something like that. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. But I'm sure that I've had some guys that I was able to get back into the rotation, but it's where they started. You know, if a guy starts and beat everybody else out, then you got to try to give him a chance to do that too. I'm trying to think. Jock Vaughn at Kansas, he broke his wrist, missed the first 9 games. So when he started playing, you know what he did? He started because that's what he deserved over time. So I don't think there's been an exact situation like that. But, you know, Leakey was playing a certain number of minutes too and not playing as many now as he was at that time. But none of those kids want to get hurt, and I understand that, and they want to play more. But every kid wants to play 60 minutes in a 40-minute game and take 60 shots, and I understand that. But Sterling's handled it well, and he's practiced better now than he was before he got hurt. And so I like that. But, you know, his life in basketball is not going to be over tomorrow.
Anybody else for Coach? All right.
All right, guys,
Thanks very much. Good luck tomorrow.